what you're looking at is a G1 Transformer toy called Megatron. And the purpose for this video is because as a picker you may come across vintage toys like this. This is one I came across over the weekend, and I want to make this video because I had a really difficult time figuring out how to transform it, and there's a real lack of footage out there on the internet on how to do it. So I want to make a good one and show you how it all works. And I got really lucky, and it came with all the accessories, including the buttstock, the scope, the flash suppressor, and the silencer. So I'm going to break it all down, show you how to transform everything, and maybe give you some tips on how you might want to photograph this. So here we go. First of all, the barrel part, this flash suppressor and everything, is just going to slide right off of there kind of easily. It doesn't really click into place or anything, and then these just kind of push together. Okay, we'll set those aside for the time being. The buttstock, let me change my lighting a little bit here, that might be helpful. This just slides down. You can see it's kind of a grooved piece there. That just slides off. And same with the scope. The scope simply slides off as well. And then what you're left with is this very realistic looking Walther P38, which it's modeled after. So let's get right down with how to transform it. First thing is the magazine here on the bottom are the feet, and those are going to kind of slide forward. If you see how that kind of went there, slide out. You can then pull that down, and those are the legs and the feet. Okay, here you see the inside of it. Alright, then this part here, the trigger and the beaver tail here, this beaver tail is going to fold down, and these are going to come apart like this. See, they're going to just kind of split in two symmetrically, and you're going to slide, or twist I guess would be better, clockwise, a quarter turn, the barrel. And this is going to then, where you just slid the barrel, this is the front of the chest, and this slides up. And the barrel is then going to point actually in the reverse direction, and then you're going to fold it under to run parallel with like the trigger assembly. I hope I'm making sense here so far. Then this whole back part, the beaver tail, trigger mechanism and everything, is going to come up, and you probably see what's going on here by now. Oh, let me just show you this too. This part extends to be the hands, and then there's a little slide here that slides the fist out. Okay, so that's going to happen on both sides. And again, that fist will slide out also. And then the whole thing is going to, whoops, pardon me, let me keep it on camera here. The whole thing will kind of click into place in the back here. This is where things get a little tricky because these toys are very old, and if it's not new in the box and it's been played with, it's probably going to be a little bit floppy. Here, let me see if I can show you this here. What I'm trying to do is, and I think I remember now, no, what I'm trying to show you here, let me just point it out. There's a little ledge right there that I have to get this part to clip onto. So let me try this again. There it went. If you just heard the click, It just clicked into place. So now what we have is a completed Megatron, and you kind of have to mess with the legs to get him to stand. Now, you'll notice that the assembly is here for the scope, and that's going to be mounted on here because, true to the cartoon, he wore that, and that's a plasma cannon. So that's simply going to slide on the rail. I'm not making this look very easy, but forgive me, it's because I'm looking in the camera viewfinder and looking at the toy because I want to make sure I'm giving you a good view of what's going on here. There we go. Believe me, it's easier than it looks. It's just because I'm trying to look at it from two different aspects here. So, this toy for many was very disappointing because they wanted it to look just like the cartoon version, and it really doesn't. But I gotta tell you, it's cool. I don't care what anybody says. It's cool. Not the most playable. Now, please be extremely careful. This piece that twists is held by a very small screw, and if you twist that thing too hard, you will break it. So let's set Megatron aside and show you what happens to the accessories, because we still have the buttstock piece, the flash suppressor, and the silencer. Well, what's cool here is that this then transforms to become a weapon for Megatron, a cannon. So as you can see, I'm kind of pulling things apart here, so I don't want to move too fast. So this is the part that slid onto the buttstock. You're just going to pull this part off. Alright, and you're going to slide this is the silencer, and that's going to slide right in that hole. The buttstock part pops down, you can see right there, and then you can make it into a stand. Okay, now this part of the extension, there's little rims in here so you can stick your fingernail in there and slide those out like this. Those are now handles for the gun, and that's going to mount in back here. And then the little flash suppressor goes right on this nub right here, and then it is ready for Megatron to grab onto. If you notice, there's little holes in his fist, and these things are about the perfect distance apart to slide him onto. If you're lucky enough to have a complete Megatron, these are the kind of photos that you're looking for eBay, right here. Okay? Showing him holding on to it so you can clearly see all the accessories displayed. Okay? So let's put him back together. Let's put him back to his gun mode. And I'm going to tell you guys, again, people think that because this is a die-cast metal toy for the most part, because this thing has some weight to it. I mean, they don't build toys like this anymore. It's still susceptible to breakage in certain areas. So I would suggest leaving this in its gun form after you photographed it and putting it away and shipping it like that, by the way. So let's put it back together. Take the gun. We're just going to fold those back. Take these all apart. Put that back together like so. Very easy. This is going to fold down. And this, oops, I got that upside down. Then there's your flash suppressor and silencer. I'm going to remove the scope from Megatron's arm. Now it's serving as the plasma blaster. Okay. So we need to reverse the entire process of everything that I did before here. So this is where things can get a little tricky, And the reason is getting this to release from that little click in back here. That's step one. So do that super carefully. So now that that's back, we can bring the barrel back around, put the barrel in place, twist that, and put it back forward. See what I did there? Just that all just twist that back up, run it parallel, and it all just kind of clicks in place. Okay? And now, with the arms, we're just going to push everything back in. And I'm being super careful here, you guys. This one is being a little stubborn. There we go. Push it in. So again, arms are back in place. And they're going to, if we look from the back here, we're going to kind of line everything up and just put it back together. I am not having a great time at this, am I? I hope it's being a help to you, though. I don't know if it is or not. Now, why is this suddenly being stubborn? That's why, because I'm sorry. So, do you see the mistake I made here? I was trying to put it back together like this, and these need to be perpendicular to, and then, so looking at it from the back, you're going to slide the arms down to a 45-degree angle and slide them, and that becomes the back trigger mechanism. Megatron's face is going to slide up to become the beaver tail, and then these legs are going to simply come back into place, and we're going to slide them both up, bring the clips back into place, and it'll all kind of click back together. Functioning trigger. In fact, if you get real lucky, you could put little projectiles in this thing, and there's a spring mechanism. This one doesn't have the projectiles. So that's getting the gun back together. That's the crucial part. And then the accessories are really kind of self-explanatory. We're just going to slide the buttstock on the back there, the silencer, and finally the scope. And there you have, oops, his little foot slid out there. There we go, oops, and there goes the flash suppressor and everything. It's a very impressive toy. It's a very impressive toy. If you're lucky enough to find one of these, you're going to be super happy. This brought me back to being 10 years old again. The robot part, again, kids probably wouldn't find it really fun to play with as a robot, but it makes a super cool display. People in their 40s are instantly going to recognize it, and of course with the movies and stuff they will also. So anyhow, that is Generation 1 Megatron from 1984.